purchased a Renault Zoe over the internet and had it delivered to me. The Renault Zoe, one of the first electric cars for the masses, tomorrow's technology delivered today, and arguably one of the best looking fully electric vehicles as well. Launched to critical acclaim, this is my first ever EV. All cars are going electric, but what does a car enthusiast, or petrol head as they're known here, think of it? Stick around for my full review of the Renault Zoe. So, a lot of people when they're talking about electric cars, like say this Zoe, the Nissan Leaf, or any of the others, they all come at you either in the environmental way of telling you how green and how efficient it is for the planet, or they're coming at a financial point of view and telling you how much money you're saving and all that, which is, you know, it's true, they are green and you are saving money. But as a petrol head, someone who's had all different cars, hot hatches, 4x4s, you know, what is it actually like to drive? Is the future of motoring a gloomy one, or is it positive? Well, in this video I'm actually going to tell you the point of view from a petrol head. Is it still enjoyable? Does it make you smile? You know, these are the things that is the beginning of electric cars. Is it positive or is it going to be a negative? Well, obviously with it being electrical, there's it's quiet because there's no combustion engine working. A bit of a electric whine that's obviously to get used to. So completely quiet at the traffic lights. Now it takes a bit of getting used to the fact that it doesn't change gear, you know, it's just in drive. So if you're used to an automatic, you're actually still used to them changing gears. Obviously there seems to be good visibility. You know, one thing the French do is they do design good small cars, and this is no exception. So there's not too much wind noise. Being a quiet and electric car, you obviously are more likely to hear noises like wind noise, but this is pretty good for wind noise. So I'm just going along here at 50 miles an hour. Alright, so picks up pace pretty quick, probably quicker than what it actually feels like, because you're not changing through the gears, and you've got all your torque low down. You don't have that power curve in the same way that you might be used to on a petrol car. So where petrol cars, the revs build up, the power comes on stronger. With an electric car like this, you've got the power sort of at, shall we say, low RPM, and it doesn't build. You know, you've got all your power low down, so the acceleration builds, or you don't get the power build up. You get the initial power, and in some ways it probably feels like you don't get more power. I quite like electric cars. I think the future of motoring is quite good. Now, although this is a Clio sort of size car, you seem to have more room than I'd expect in a Clio, especially more room in the back. You sit relatively high in the car, so if you're used to something more like a soft road or something like a Mitsubishi Outlander, sports utility vehicles, then you've got a similar sort of driving position. You don't sit low in the car like you do on something, say like a Golf GTI or maybe a Passat or something. So the car has electronic power steering, which is relatively well weighted. So when you're slow, it lightens up, but just going around that corner there, you know, it didn't feel too light, so you don't feel like you're going to wander all over the place. You don't get as much feedback with electric power steering as through the steering wheel as what you would do with a conventional steering. Not sure why. You know, very easy to steer, but you don't get that sort of feedback that you are more likely to get in something that's a bit more sporty. So switch gear and controls, they're sort of just where you'd expect to find them on the steering wheel. So you've got indicators and lights on the left, you've got your wipers and on the right, and also the trip computer controls are on the stalk on the right. You have another stalk in front of it which has your sort of radio controls on. So you've got like a digital radio fitted. So it's got a built-in sat nav. Got the radio off at the moment, so I'll just go. So the ride is, this has got the optional 17-inch alloy wheels on it, but the ride is relatively firm, but I wouldn't say sporty. You know, there's it's quite quick to change, but there's a little bit of body roll, and again, a bit like the steering, it just feels a little bit disconnected if you're comparing it to something sporty. But you know what, the more I'm driving this, the more I'm enjoying it. So I can see myself getting one of these for myself. So this one's actually pre-sold. So I might do some more future reports on this car as well. Oh, but that's a decent bit of pace there that picks up. In fact, looking at the speedo, I'd actually say this car's, as a round town car, is more pokey than you realise. Yeah, so out of that roundabout, nice and quick acceleration. What are the brakes like? Ooh. The brakes, got a good degree of braking actually on the brakes. I think I've lost half my stuff that was on the seat. Oh, even spun the wheels just coming out of that roundabout. So display's easy to read. Almost seems a bit lacking because you don't have a rev counter. You've got a nice, easy to read digital speedometer, and you have a button that's here that you can select the different screens. I think they missed a trick where they could have used different colours as well with the screens. You know, you can customise a bit of the way that you want the screen. So this one looks a bit like it's got a rev counter, and you also have other ones which show the flow of electricity. So you've got cruise control, speed limiter, all around electric windows. This car is the Dynamic Intense, I believe you say it. Got the reversing camera and reversing sensors. Upholstery, it's pretty nice. It's not too garish. So a nice piano black dashboard here. Steering wheel feels good actually. You know, nice size steering wheel, nice feel with the leather. Bit of a sporty flat bottom to the steering wheel. From a standing start, we're doing 30, 40, 50. So it's not too sluggish, but it is more of a car that I'd say suited for around town than motorway driving. You know, if you've got a lot of motorway, with only having a top speed of about 80, you'll be pushing it on electric motors, so you'll be using the battery quite a bit. But no, this is a lovely car. So do you miss the roar of the engine? Well, yes. Do you miss the acceleration? Well, no. Do you miss changing gears? Well, I'm used to actually driving automatics, whether it's with a Triptronic gearbox or like in my Range Rover, my ML, etc. So I actually quite like automatics when you do, especially when you do a lot of miles and you're in traffic a lot. But you've got a different feel on this to some automatics. So it feels like it has a lot of direct drive. Again, you don't get the feeling of it changing gears. You just get that build up of speed. Do I miss changing gears? I can live with that. So this is the first electric car I bought. Oh, new Aston Martin going by. So this is the first electric car I bought. I can see myself having plenty more. In fact, it's making me want to buy one myself just to drive around. Well, I hate to disappoint any petrol heads out there, which I'd probably say that I'm one of them. But those who bang on about, you know, it's the end of an era, It's actually the beginning of a new one. The future's bright. The future's electric.